And a very good afternoon to you wherever and however you're listening to us on Talksport 2, or indeed if you're watching us on the Isuzu YouTube channels or social media. My name's Ian Danter. Welcome to Isuzu HQ in Solihull in the West Midlands, where we are about to do the draw for the FA Vase and the FA Trophy quarterfinals. Wembley Stadium is very much in sight for an awful lot of non-league footballers. Non-league finals day takes place this year on Saturday, May the 11th, but we're about to do the draws for the quarterfinals. We're down to the last 8, pretty much, although there have been a few postponements over the weekend that need to be rectified during the course of the next 7 days. Alongside me to do the draw for both the FA Vase and FA Trophy quarterfinals is former Wealdstone defender who's taken part in the FA Trophy during his fledgling part of his career, Stuart Pearce, former England under-21 manager and England captain. As soon as you hear the word, Stuart, quarterfinals as a non-league player, that's when it gets serious, isn't it?
I think so. I think that's where the focus is on Wembley. You're a couple of games away from a Wembley turnout, and playing at Wembley is a special occasion.
Just a reminder that the FA Vase is for lower league teams from non-league below step 4 of the English football pyramid. The FA Trophy is for steps 1 to 4 from the National League down to step 4. So we have 2 separate draws for you. We will start with the FA Trophy draw, and Tony Incenzo, will have a chat with him in a moment. He's our non-league guru and groundhopper who can tell us a bit more about the ties that come out of the hat in the FA Trophy. Just to give you a heads up as to the numbers and who is who in the FA Trophy draw. Number 1 is Embley. Number 2 is Worcester City. Number 3 will be Bridgwater United or Deal Town, who couldn't play at the weekend. Also, North Greenford United are 5. Highworth Town or Great Wakering Rovers are 6. Falmouth Town 7. Romford are 8. Forgive me, Hallam or Lincoln United are 3. Bridgwater or Deal Town are number 4. These ties are going to get played on the 9th of March. Stuart, if you wouldn't mind, we have the 8 balls and the classic FA Velvet red bag. If you wouldn't mind putting the 8 balls.
So this is the trophy?
This is for the FA Trophy quarterfinals.
The Vase. This is for the Vase.
The Vase, sorry. So winning clubs in these ties win £4,125 for getting through to the last 4. Losing clubs will also receive a sum of £1,350. So for the Vase quarterfinals, shove the balls in the bag, please, Stuart, and give them a good shake around. And good luck to all those participating in this draw for the Isuzu FA Vase. So first out of the hat, playing at home,
number 5
will be North Greenford United. They needed penalties to get past Tilbury FC after a tight 0-0 draw at the weekend. They are at home against...
They were playing number 8.
Number 8 is Romford, who were 3-1 winners at Hilltop FC at the weekend. There you go, first quarter-final in the Vase is done. Next up.
At home will be number 2.
Number 2, Worcester City, who won the local derby at Stourport Swifts by 5-1 at the weekend. Who are they against, Stuart?
They'll play against number 1.
Number 1 is Embley, and Embley beat Wickham FC by 2-0 in round 5. Next up.
Number 3.
Number 3 is Hallam or Lincoln United. That game was postponed on Saturday. They will play that again this coming Saturday. Hallam, of course, Sandygate as their home, the oldest football ground in existence, dating back to 1860.
And they will be at home to number 4.
Number 4 is another either-or, Bridgwater United or Deal Town. Again, that was postponed. That will take place next Saturday, 3 o'clock at Fairfax Park. Deal Town won the FA Vase back in 2000.
Number 6.
Number 6 is Highworth Town or Great Wakering Rovers. That was postponed at the weekend. They'll try again next weekend. Highworth Town lost the semi-final of this trophy back in 2015. And that means that they will be against, with 1 ball left.
Number 7.
Number 7, which is Falmouth Town, who won 3-0 against the Jersey Bulls at the weekend, the side furthest to the south and west. So those are the ties for the FA Vase quarter-finals. Those ties will be played on Saturday, the 9th of March. Let's check in with our non-league guru, Tony Incenzo, who is a groundhopper. He's visited over 2,500 football stadia around the country. And he's the inspiration behind non-league finals day, where both the FA Vase and Trophy finals are played on the same day. Tony, your reaction to that Vase quarter-final draw?
Yeah, the tie of the round, undoubtedly, Worcester City versus Emley. Worcester, fantastic club with great pedigree in non-league football. When the Alliance Premier League, which is now the National League, was first formed, I was chatting to Stuart Pearce about this earlier. In 1979, Worcester were banging on the door of the Football League. They lost their famous St George's Ground, and they're now regrouping at step 5, but they're top of the Hellenic League this season. They've only lost one game. That win that you mentioned on Saturday at Stourport Swifts in the local derby, 5-1, an all-ticket crowd. Incredible for two step 5 teams to have an all-ticket crowd. They're up against Emley, second in the Northern Counties East League Premier Division. The original Emley were runners-up in 1988. I remember going up there for their semi-final against Bashley that year. So that's the tie of the round. Whoever wins that will fancy their chances. But also North Greenford United against Romford is a good one. North Greenford, a really friendly little club in West London, 6th in the Combined Counties League Premier Division. And Romford, the original Romford, had a great pedigree. They played at a ground called Brooklands in Romford, which had a huge capacity. They applied to get into the Football League. Then they lost that ground. They were supposed to get another new stadium. It didn't happen. They went bust, I think, at some point, but reformed, the fans reformed them, and they're bouncing back now 4th in the Essex Senior League. So those are the two main ties to look out for.
And just to emphasise, Tony, what it means for clubs at these levels, below step 4, to receive prize money of, you know, £4,000 for advancing to the semi-finals, what it means to these clubs at this level.
Yeah, it means a lot because they don't pay the greatest wages at that level, and that sort of money can keep them going for quite a while. And then as you progress more in the Isuzu FA Vase and the chance of getting to Wembley, there's incredible publicity. Some of the clubs, I was at Wembley a few years ago, and Hereford in the Vase took 20,000 for the first non-league finals day. And I think if Worcester City got to Wembley this year, they'd take a good 20,000 at least, maybe even more. So the publicity and the finances and the goodwill builds up the further you progress in the Isuzu FA Vase.
It's a fantastic competition, and we should stress you were the inspiration, Tony, behind getting both Vase and Trophy finals played on the same day.
Well, I wrote an article in the non-league paper. The non-league paper are represented here today, John Couch, and I just suggested that the Vase final and the Trophy final were on alternative weekends in May, and the Vase final in particular wasn't doing too well. There was one crowd of under 10,000. And I just suggested that they should bring everything together. I didn't call it non-league finals day, I called it a non-league jamboree day, and said bring everybody together, get the two finals on a weekend, on a Saturday or a Sunday in May, and invite the whole of the non-league scene along and get everybody to come. And we've had crowds of 40,000 plus for some of them. So it's really, really good. It's a great family day out, really cheap, £25 for adults for the two games. Concession is £10, I think, if you come in a group, and kids, it's very cheap. So it's a great day out.
So just quickly recap that Vase quarter-final draw for us, please. Tony, we started with North Greenford against Romford.
Yeah, North Greenford United against Romford, Worcester City versus Emley, Hallam or Lincoln United against Bridgewater or Deal Town, and Highworth or Great Wakering Rovers against Falmouth Town, travelling all the way up from deepest Cornwall.
Tony, thank you very much indeed. That's the FA Vase quarter-final draw done. We will now move on to the FA Trophy. And this is a trophy that Stuart has participated in when he was playing for Wealdstone. Wealdstone, one of those teams remaining in the draw. They weren't able to play their game against Hendon at the weekend. They'll have another go tomorrow night. So let's put the balls back in the bag, shall we, Stuart?
Shall.
Just a reminder of the other numbers in the draw for this FA Trophy quarter-final draw. Barnet are ball 1, Bromley ball 2, Gateshead, last year's beaten finalists, are ball 3, Peterborough Sports are ball 4, ball 5 is Wealdstone or Hendon, 6 will be Solihull Moors, the local side to here at Isuzu HQ, Bishop Stortford or Colville Town, whose match was postponed at the weekend, they will be ball 7, and ball 8 is Macclesfield. So these ties are worth £7,500 to the winners in the FA Trophy quarter-final. So, Stuart, give the ball a shake. And let's draw out the first number for the FA Trophy quarter-finals.
Number 3.
Number 3 is Gateshead. As I mentioned, last year's beaten finalists to FC Halifax Town. They won at Hereford on Saturday. They're at home.
To number 4.
To number 4, that's Peterborough Sports, 16th in the National League North. They beat Kidderminster Harriers. Excellent win for them by 1-0 at the weekend. Next out of the bag.
Number 2.
Number 2 is Bromley. Second spot in the National League behind the runaway leaders Chesterfield. They beat Aveley of the National League South by 2-0.
They'll be at home to number 1.
Number 1 is Barnet. And Barnet, who lost the semi-final last year to Gateshead, they're third in the National League. A really, really big tie there at the Hive. They beat Welling United 3-0 Barnet in round 5. Bromley against Barnet.
Number 5.
Number 5 is Wealdstone or Hendon. So you've managed to get a home tie potentially for your old club. That was postponed on Saturday. That tie will be played again tomorrow evening.
And they will play number 6.
Will be at home to Solihull Moors, 5th in the National League. Never been to the semi-finals before in the FA Trophy. They won 3-1 at Chorley on Saturday. Wealdstone or Hendon against Solihull Moors, which leaves 2 more balls left in the bag. Who's at home?
Number 8.
Number 8, Macclesfield, 6th in the Northern Premier. They were relegated from the EFL back in 2020. They won 2-0 at the Beverley against Hampton and Richmond at the weekend. Macclesfield are at home and they will play the one remaining ball.
Number 7.
Number 7, which is either Bishop Stortford or Colville Town, another game that was postponed on Saturday, so they will try that again tomorrow. So a reminder of these 4 ties for the FA Trophy. Gateshead against Peterborough Sports, Bromley against Barnet, Wealdstone or Hendon against Solihull Moors, and Macclesfield against Bishop Stortford or Colville Town. Those ties are going to be played on the 9th of March, same as with the FA Vase quarter-final that we brought you before. Good luck to all teams participating. Talksport 2 will keep you in touch on the social and other shows with everything that's happening around the world of non-league. Thanks to everybody here at Isuzu who's looked after us so brilliantly today. Thank you to Stuart Pearce.
Pleasure.
For being part of the draw. His first ever draw, and he did jolly well.
Thank you.
And we look forward to the semi-final and the final draw. Don't forget, non-league finals day at Wembley Stadium, Saturday, May the 11th. 1 and 2 of these teams will be there in each final. Thanks for being with us.